Mic test 1 2 1 2. El Zorro wears a diaper when he plays. Mic test 1 2 1 2. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everybody, to the Masters League. This is going to be week 3, guys. I know a lot of you guys might probably missed out on last week's action due to the fact that, the first major of the Cold War season was on. But, we're back for week 3, and Call of Duty doesn't sleep, and so don't we. Right, Nico?
Oh, it's certainly not. I mean, it's been a crazy weekend. Everybody's seeing that Atlanta FaZe, the undefeated top dogs of the group, sitting at an 8-0. As unfortunate it is for Dallas fanboy here, we couldn't come out on top, but it was a fun weekend of Call of Duty nonetheless. So, and here we are, getting some more.
Yeah, for sure, and hats off to them also coming in second place, right? Having to defeat the New York, the side of New York subliners that came in third, as well as Optic Gaming, who they had to take on in that winners bracket. Optic ultimately coming in fourth. Now, when it comes to surprises, right? I think the biggest surprise, apart from what's happened throughout the CDL, when it comes to last week, is sort of what happened during the ALG League, and so. For those of you guys that weren't here, there was a scheduling issue last week. So that's why you're going to notice things this week when it comes to the stream, where you'll see teams with an unbalanced sort of record. So right now, you guys are seeing the side of Elemental Gaming, I believe, with a 0-2, and you're going to see the side of, or 0-3. You're going to see one of these teams with an 0-3 and one of these teams with an 0-2. And essentially, why that is because just some of the matches that were scheduled were cross group scheduled, so they don't really count for points when it comes down to grouping. So we're going to be working our way, balancing things out. Teams that didn't get in the proper matches last week will be balancing things out with some off-stream matches this week. So uh, for those teams, man, there's a lot of action to go on this week, and there's a lot up for grabs in terms of points for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 302 Blue play, and these two teams are bottom tier teams in the league, but still, this is a nonetheless an important matchup considering the confidence it's needed, especially coming out on top, Uh certainly no team wants to be the ones at the bottom. So still maybe not as exciting as like a Dawn of Chaos matchup that we always have such a great time watching, but this is still an important matchup for these teams. I believe 302 Blue hasn't won anything.
No, both of
Hasn't
these teams are both with the are both with no wins in their record, so they're both hungry for a win. That's what I'm gonna
Oh yeah.
say. Like coming into this matchup, both these teams, one of them's gonna get a come away with a win at the end of today, at the end of tonight, and it's just all about which one does it. Which one does take away a win and get to have a one up over their competition that they're gonna be having to face, down the line again in their rematch before playoffs. So for those of you guys that haven't already thrown it in chat, I want to see you guys throw your predictions in. And while you're doing that, we're gonna obviously talk about the map set, right, Nico?
Yeah, certainly. I believe our first map is going to be here on Crossroads, and then we have a raid S&D map, and then for our control, we're going to hit Checkmate, and then our second hard point will be Moscow, and our fifth and final S&D map is going to be on Miami, excuse me, which I have to admit I've really been loving Miami Search and Destroy. I mean it is a very heavy AR map considering XM4s have been GA'd in the league. But still, nonetheless, it's very exciting to watch a Miami Search and Destroy. I can only hope that we get to a game 5. With the caliber that these teams are playing at, we could see, as we've did these consistent 3-0s, these sweeps. But with these teams playing the way that they have been with other teams, it's going to be hard to predict. If they're going to be playing at the same level, or if one team is just going to be a few steps ahead of the other. But as of right now, I think that they're playing at the same level. I think it's going to be a back and forth. It isn't going to be too heavy on one side. So who knows? I'm definitely going to guess that we're going to get at least a map 4.
Yeah, I'm itching for something that's more than a 3-0. We saw our fair share of 3-0s, week 1 of this league. We saw a few 3-0s in the off streams. I saw in the off streams, then also in last week, in some of the exhibition matches, which we're going to call those that went on stream. They didn't end up counting for any rankings or records. And then we also saw a few 3-0s within the actual CDL over the major. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see how things go, these next couple weeks. And the biggest thing now that's the talk of the town, Nico, that's going to be put into place today are the new GAs, right? So we're going to be seeing the XM4 off of the table. No team will be running the XM4s, and I wish I could GA my cat, guys, but unfortunately we have to go with it. You might even see his little shadow. I'm not sure. But the XM4 is going to be off the table, as well as there's going to be some small attachment changes or GAs towards attachments for the AK-74 Uzi, and I really don't think it's going to change how powerful that gun is.
Really?
No, I still think it's going to be. Still think it's going to be very dominant. I put out a poll earlier tonight, and I said, what do you guys think? XM4s. The subs are dominant, or the Krieg will stand its ground, because that's the one gun that hasn't had any GA or change to it really, apart from the scopes as an attachment, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's definitely going to change the pacing of the game, because the XM4 being such a powerful weapon, and the type of plays that we've seen, these those long range cross map kills on Miami. These heavy cross map picks off of Crossroad, those crates, it's going to be tough to see which gun is really going to be the taking over the meta in this new switch up.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
Yeah, and for sure,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna miss the XM4, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still gonna use and abuse that one in league play, like everybody that uses Lawbreakers. I hope none of you guys in chat are those Lawbreaker overkill scums that use the snipers with your regular primaries. But I'll put my agenda aside there and my vendetta aside there, as we have that action ready for you guys right here. It's going to be 302 blue on the right, and you're going to see Elemental Gaming on the left to start off. And Nico, want to rhyme off the players here?
Yeah, on the side of Elemental Gaming, we have Mythical, Nagaliosaki, Dios, Barbalanca. Interesting names. I like the name calls. And 302 blue. As we've seen before, Brixie, Grim, Cello, and Flaco, the top. Right now, these teams. So far, Elemental Gaming having the strong start with the 20-point advantage already, having most of the time already built up on the hill. Most of the kills going in favor of Elemental Gaming, but Flaco being the one man up to really step it up for his team, as Brixie and Cello are sitting at a goose egg to start the first few seconds of this, but it doesn't seem to matter. 302 being able to get onto the hard point, push some of the players off Elemental off, and that's 3 down already for the side of Elemental Gaming.
Yeah, right now Elemental has done all that they can do really to try to get across over to the new spawns, but 302 blue have just been able to hold so well, and with having that Krieg at this top power position that's not going to be as easily contested with an XM4 off the table, it's going to be really interesting to see how these power positions that you're going to see these ARs, like the solid Krieg there, sort of stack up here. And some of the new attachments that people are starting to run here, we're going to run through the classes here, and not the classes, but sort of the guns here. As you're going to see, it's looking like it's a 3 sub meta right now for the 302 side. Could be just a hill choice, or quite frankly, I would feel it's going to be a choice that we're going to see across the board for a lot of teams moving forward, with just how strong the AK-74 is at medium to long range. And you're going to see Elemental Gaming with a 50-50 AR and submachine gun, and so far I guess that 50-50 is maybe playing a big impact, playing a big role, Nico.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, another big impact has got to be certainly Mythical. 9-3, 4 streak right now, 25 seconds on the hard point, and right now, 56 seconds left, and Elemental Gaming have the setup. They have a 3-man on, and the players right now seem to be a little too far spread out, trying to make a solid pinch. Cello's going to win in a very important gunfight, trying to make some alleviated pressure off of the hard point. And as I say that, Grim gets on it, and he's right now accumulating at least 40 points. If this is played perfectly, there's another lead change and a fair lead for the side of 302 blue. And right now, Grim trying his best to hold his ground, but he's going to lose his first gunfight. and Dios is gonna come in, and it's a clean break already. 302 blue with just absolutely no defense, leaving one player on the objective. That's tough. You know, you get a clean break, and you got only a few seconds before you're taken right off of it, and it seems like Elemental are gonna be able to get the scrap time for this one.
Yeah, but that's big right here in the back as Cello looked like somebody was going to aggress towards him at Rock, but nobody on Elemental Gaming really sniffed out that he was actually building a streak here. And with streaks on the board, we've seen him on the board for a while now in NA, not so much in EU. They come out to a full effect, and you guys saw it in the CDL, how impactful they can be. We've seen it last week as well with Velis getting a map win on the board with some extremely strong streak usage at the end of the hard point to secure, especially on this map where you have this middle hard point right here at boxes is P4. It's so in the open. When you know the enemy has streaks, it's so tough to want to jump onto that hill without getting cut off. And well, Cello's gonna have streaks now. It's all up to Elemental Gaming to try to get that information and be able to play around it. As right now, those streaks could come in anytime during these open hills in P1 and P4. But right now, I don't think 302 Blue are gonna use them just quite yet. As Elemental Gaming, they're looking strong, but 302 they've been looking hot when it comes to P2 on this map so far. Right now, it's all gonna be about those gunfights all around that P1. So far as Grim, he's gonna be able to be the last man standing on the hill. Bar Blanca right by open doors here could sniff out some trouble for Grim. It's a Grim scene right there on the point as he gets taken down, and Dios, he's going to be watching the back spawns, catch Cello on the rotation, and that's going to be trouble for Blue as they're continuing to spawn out. 38 seconds left, streaks coming to break that hill, could take Dios off the heady, and that will be what it does. And this is massive. This is an opportunity that Blue needs to seize to grab spawns for P2, and they will be able to do so, Nico. Great streak usage, great movement out of the team, and coordination. Now, what will the pink team do on these split spawns at ice?
I think they just have to rely on slang power. You know, right now, Mythical 16 and 11. You know, Dios sitting at 15 and 10. It was very good patience from the side of 302 to be able to secure the last few seconds of the hard point. You know, the scrap time is extremely important, as well as the rotations. You know, right now it's a 1-1-1, a 1-2-1 offensive on the side of Elemental, and you know, this defense right here is very important. As we've seen before, they just get easily broken into, and as I'm saying that, a clean break for Elemental as they get into the hard point, avoid the 100-point club on the side of 302. That's as unfortunate as that is. Cello's going to get taken down that top heady and the top sandbags. Still, 18 and 9, doing pretty cracked, but 302 are going to be able to have a nice, clean regain. Break the hill, get in there. They're going to chop down that player of the back crates. And right now, the defense is looking pretty solid. You know, they play a perfect hill here. They're looking at a 20, 30-point game. Pretty solid, considering you were down, you know, about 50 points. The defense was a little lackluster, but the regain offense was just enough to keep him in there. Brixie's going to be able to stay alive for a guaranteed 15 seconds. That was huge. That was exactly what they needed. That's plays that need to happen. You know, you need to win those gunfights when you're one-on-one for the scrap time.
And I'm not quite sure if he was, if that was movement, like just trying to get that sliding movement when he was shaking his head side to side, or if he was saying no to the player after when he got the kill. And oh, the big shots come through from Brixie as his streak ends up falling away. But we will see this side of Elemental Gaming with the hill to still continue to use. Now this continues to mount problem after problem for 302 Blue. They were not out of the neck of the woods when the streaks were accrued for 302 Blue's Cello, as he does still have a streak left to use, and he's most likely going to have to play it off this P4. But right now on the side is going to be Barba Blanca just going off on his own streak right here. Make that 7. Oh my gosh, feed him more in fire. He'll cook it to a crisp, as Naga Leosaki going to be moving it over to P4, going to hightail it out of there, look to try to catch more, but Flacco will cut him down. Not really a thin margin of error right there for Flacco. Is far from thin, right, Nico, in the translation?
Oh, certainly. I mean, it's kind of tough when you see just a nice setup, a nice early rotation, and seemingly no shot at winning the gunfight. Is you just weren't set up. You know, you pop out of the heady and you're not even aimed down, and you know, you got a sub right in your face, ready to just unload a bunch of lead in your nose. But you know, you got your teammates behind you. And right now, dude, like it's looking like a 200-point club with the way Elemental are playing.
Ooh.
Solid defense, not letting anybody come crosswalk. Nagali Osaki with the two-piece, looking very clean, shooting straight. His thumbs are nice and steady. Nobody right now accruing points. 24 seconds left on the hard point. 302 blue. Kitty's trying to get in on the play call.
Man. Man, my cat really doesn't know when to quit. He's one of those really persistent players, sort of like I would probably say Cello with the way that he's been able to put up a 24 and 18. Just absolutely persistent on this map. And Brixie, he's following suit alongside Flacco, but like I like that this 302 blue side isn't really going away. They're not rolling over. They're not getting steamrolled like we've seen them in the past. You know, sure, some of you guys can chalk this up to it being, you know, a lighter opponent that they're up against, but still, I want to leave a lot to their possible you know, favor and a lot of doubt off the cards that it could be just something that we see in the shakeup with the XM4 off the board. Some of those extremely strong teams that could abuse that XM4 with really strong ARs, now the subs will start to mean much more on their teams, and I feel like this Elemental Gaming side has always had a stronger sub duo in comparison to all those other teams with a stronger AR side and AR presence. And this meta, I feel like, is going to be, like I said at the beginning, shifting over to submachine guns being more important and leaving their presence is going to be a lot more known on most of these maps, especially a fast map like this one where those slow barge like Kriegs. Shout out to Enigma for using that one, stealing it from you, sir. As yeah, like the Krieg is such a slow AR. Like before, you had such high mobility with that XM4 Nico, and with that being lost in an AR, you know, does it really even things out, or do you feel like you're maybe on my side here, that the submachine guns are really the difference maker here?
I think initially the sides will be relatively even, considering that these teams are all adjusting to this new meta. But in time, I believe the disparity between the skills and the pacing of each team, the way they play, is certainly going to be a deciding factor. You know, it's going to be something that is going to be very notable in previous matchups. But you know, right now, Rio 2 trying the best that they can to hold on, and Barba Blanca, if he wins this gunfight, that's huge. That might have been the game. But he's going to hop off the hard point. That could have been it. You know, that momentum, that push. I mean, they're only about 15 seconds left from securing this. The rotation is there. 302, though, going to hop on it. They can't win it here. They need to hold this perfectly to bring them into the lead and hold them at a higher advantage over Elemental Gaming. Brixie right now trying to work this catwalk push. And the team on 302, they have a solid defense right here. They need to win these important gunfights. Right now, this could make or break the game. Like, these gunfights need to be won, but as I'm saying that, 302 are going to be able to take 2 down, and 302, there's only 1 player left to contest, and all 3 players are going to be there.
Damn.
The catwalk gets taken down. That's it. That's game. I don't think anybody's going to be anywhere near this. That's it.
Yeah,
Map
no.
1.
Like you were saying, again, like super out of the woods. It looked so good for 302, though. They had spawns, they had the early touch, they had the initial on that hill for Fire. They were able to stop one full push of all those players towards Fire, but it all came down, I felt, to that player pushing from ice, getting up onto Cliff, and then killing the last player in the back, Cello. And that's once again, like we say this time and time again, I say it, it's cookie crumbles, you know. It didn't look like absolute murder out there, which is great. You know, both these teams got to feel happy about it, because most of their matchups have been very straightforward 3-0s, you know, maybe a 3-1 in the mix between these teams, or not between them, but against other teams, obviously. So to see your side put up this big of a fight and not get swept so easily in the opening map of a series, it's got to give your side, regardless on the win or loss. Obviously, the team with the win has a ton of momentum coming off of it, but the team with the loss, you can still feel pretty proud of yourselves. Like, hey, we're in it. You know, we don't feel like we're out of the series coming off of the first map loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to really figure out which team is going to be able to adjust more quickly to the S&D, considering the slower pace, the more methodical thinking, and the strategic aspect in it. You know, definitely these teams, they have the slaying powers there. They have the potential to be, you know, not in the in the ditch when in the series. Barba Blanca, notably, nearly getting a 40 bomb on that first map hardpoint. And
Huge.
yeah, I mean, you really got to start to think which one of these players are really going to be able to keep the momentum moving in, because sometimes one single player can make or break an entire team. If one wheel isn't spinning, the car is just not going to move as well as it should be. And as we've seen time and time again, players can have an electric rip off the start and then just do very poorly in the S&D. But as we just saw, these teams were playing at a very, same speed um, caliber. And this search and destroy, it's going to be a tough one, especially on a map like Raid. You don't have these ARs. You're running these. I'm expecting a sub-heavy presence on this map. So it's going to be a tough one. It's just going to be whichever team can adjust the quickest, and I guess just kind of go on the spot as it comes up. You're gonna have to play these situations differently. But I think now it's time we make predictions on who we
For
think is gonna
sure,
win this
and
map.
for those of you guys tuning in after map one, it was a very back and forth one. I felt at times when it came to hill control, but the elemental side stayed at one step ahead of their opponents the whole time. 302 Blue didn't really take a lead at all throughout that hard point, in my opinion. I feel like they were on the back foot the most of the time, but they did keep the score rather close, especially near the end where it got a bit to a nail biting conclusion. Crossroads was our hard point that just concluded. Elemental Gaming up 1-0 in the series. We will be going to Raid next as our Search and Destroy. Following that would be a Control that we're guaranteed. And then if we do see a tie at all or a map put on the board within the next two by 302, we will be given an extension to that map 4 and or map 5, depending on the results in map 4 if we can get there. Now, Nico, you were saying when it comes to that we need to do a prediction here for this one, and coming off of the success that I just saw out of Elemental Gaming and their I feel like their team play together was very well coordinated and it looked really good. Statistics in the background, I can take a look at them. But I'm going to say Elemental Gaming win this one. I'll give you my full prediction on score in just a moment, but I want to hear your little evaluation here.
Hmm. That's tough. Nagali Osaki had a few important holds on some of these important hard points that really secured a lot of time for his team. Barba Blanca, with the slaying power, it's there. He has the potential to play really well. And hmm, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna stick my neck out for 302 and say it's gonna be a 6-4 victory on this S&D. I think 302 are gonna take it.
Well, if they are going to take it, then they're going to need to make sure that Brixie continues to step up like he has so far in S&Ds in past for their team. Now, looking over at Elemental Gaming, looks like the standout player when it comes to S&D for them was in fact Barba Blanca once again, as well as Dios actually. Dios and Barba Blanca as a duo do S&D really well. I believe I did see some good S&D last week out of Mythical in the match that was regarded as an exhibition against OTB. So it's interesting. I think it's a toss up where you go 302, I'll go Elemental, and then where you go with your score, I'll predict the exact same score, but over for Elemental. I feel like it could go either way in this one. Two teams really battling it out, a lot of hunger for this map win, and obviously for the series win. And I think they're going to deliver that in the S&D. I don't think it's going to be a wash through. But like both of us know, a lot of how Search and Destroy plays out and which team will come out on top in S&D, it tends to really come down to first bloods, Nico.
Oh yeah.
What would you say, when looking at the CDL, what were some of when it comes to playing on Raid, for instance, first, when you look back at the CDL, Search and Destroys on Raid, what are some of like the, either key bomb sites, which bomb sites more popular, what's the more popular guns on that map? Do we see an override when it comes to subs? Do we see a 50-50? Like when you remember back when you look back at Raid S&D, what do you got?
I saw a lot of Tiki plants, that bomb site over by Tiki. And one thing I've noticed very important is bomb placement. Which side of the bomb you're going to plant, because it really is going to decide, if somebody's prone down, it's going to be the deciding factor of like where you're going to set up for your defense, where you're gonna rotate, you know, the angles you're gonna be able to get off a player that's maybe crouched or prone behind the bomb, getting the plant off. Like I think one thing that was very important was bomb placement because I've seen players they'll put a bomb on one angle and then their whole team goes to the other side. So, you know, one player hops on the defuse and the other's watching over, providing cover fire, and the defuse is already in before they can have any chance to get around and get a solid angle on the player. So I think one thing that isn't really talked about is certainly bomb placement, where particularly around the bomb it is you're gonna plant. Because man, did I see that a lot on this last weekend in the majors. You know, there was just a bunch of unfortunate timing. People were not able to circle back around. I mean, sure you can get like, you know, somebody off their leg. You can put a few rounds in their leg, their kneecaps, their feet, but overall, it's just not as reliable. So, uh, with this XM4 now out of the picture, it's going to be tough to see because you know that Tiki plant, those ARs are extremely powerful. You know, when especially when players are up top bedroom, players are down basketball court. It's going to be certainly a different pace. I think these rounds are going to go a little quicker. You know, with these teams throwing their subs, you know, in these buildings like kitchen, laundry, playing in and around it. It's I don't know. It's going to be a tricky one, but regardless, as I said before, 6'4", 302 blue. I'm gonna stick my neck out for them. I'm gonna say they come out on top of this one.
Yeah, well, you know, the submachine gun presence, we saw it. It came out on top. You know, on the side of 302 Blue in that opening hardpoint. Their top player was their AR, Krieg User and Cello. And over with Elemental, their top fragger, top lobby fragger was Barba Blanca rocking that submachine gun, that AK-74 Uzi that got minorly touched but didn't get, you know, obviously banned off the table like the XM4. And in this one, I would expect him to show up with a lot of aggression. But right now we are having some issues with the bot and starting up the lobby, folks. So we are going to go to a technical break, or a little short break for you guys. You guys will see the map set, and feel free to ask questions to mods in chat as we go for a little break. We'll be back, obviously, with the action when we get it started. So thank you guys. Just stay tuned.
Yep.
Okay, we are finally here, Nico. The map is finally loading in, and we strongly apologize. You know, a lot of this is out of my hands, Nico's hands. You know, we're here just working the camera, working our faces, working our mouths to give you guys entertainment from a casting side of things. Nico, you can hear me, right? Okay, perfect, and we can hear you as well. Wonderful. We're going to be jumping right into the action here, as on S&D raid, something we were talking about. Nearly saw a Clayster just happen right there from Dios as he's breaking all the glass with his teammates, making as much noise as possible at Mansion. I'm surprised no dogs are barking up in the Beverly Hills here off of all that noise. As Elemental Gaming, they're playing passive really under this Mansion, and that's not really the strategy that you go with when you're going to go for an A hit. Where we saw time and time again in the CDL, the player with the bomb would crouch up, go straight up to that bomb, and be right next to where that Tiki is, or be right next to where Rock is, and plant it where it's hard to be spotted from Money. But Ball Court is going to be where that player is playing for that cheeky bomb spot, and Dios will spot him, taking him out. Now playing around with potentially watching pool steps here into raid. He spots Flacco, but the time is ticking down, and the side of Elemental Gaming, they need to get the priority on planting that bomb soon, because Flacco's still up on the map. Grim on the map still can be a big thorn in the side if the bomb doesn't get planted in time.
Man, I honestly thought that they were gonna hesitate on getting that bomb down, but I mean, it just seemingly didn't even matter. Boy, those players dropped pretty quickly. I believe only one player on the side of Elemental was the one that fell, and it was the first blood. So yeah, I mean, clean stuff. But right now, switching sides, 302 Blue are gonna have the bomb. It's going to be interesting to see which bomb side they choose to. If they're going to continue to go with that A push. Dios with a 3-0. I didn't even hadn't realized. Playing pretty well.
Interesting
right
start
now,
as well. Elemental Gaming going off on their defense with 3 Kriegs and 1 sub here. And so far, the action's going to be over at A. Once again, back-to-back, these teams are playing for A. And here's that spot that me and you both know from watching CDL here. That nice little bomb spot here, hidden from Top L and Money. As Brixie's going to get that bomb planted. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 though, since evening kills have come across, and Flacco's going to spot one. That player's going to rotate back towards Money here to try to catch a player there. That player's rotation though is going to get called out and predicted by Brixie, reading him like a book, not an encyclopedia really, more just of like a thesaurus, a lot more simpler. And Flacco's going to find a big kill there, and it's going to be all up to the last player on Elemental. But Nico, back and forth rounds, 1-1 will be with a score line going into this round number 2, and this could be a very interesting search and destroy that we're up for.
Yeah, that was played perfectly by 302. You know, the call was there, the bomb was planted, and the defense was there. You know, the players start to rotate, and the call out there for Brixie being able to converge on that rotation, it was just played perfectly. And right now, neck and neck, we might be seeing this up until the very end. Hopefully, you know, maybe around 11, something exciting to get us started, you know, a clean 1-1 on this map series. But right now, Elemental Gaming on a 2-1-1 offensive, looking like they might plant A, but the rotation is there. The information has been called out. Some of the players have been spotted. No gunfights yet have been taken. And right now, Barblanca making his way back over to Mythical, trying to make a bomb plant, but already one player has been spotted out. Flacco, it's going to be seen. Nades are coming out. Oh, and Mythical's going to chase him. Right now, very patient. Brixie is going to get the first blood on a Dios, though. Mythical hopping into this laundry, and the nade is there. Oh, and he gets out with his life just in time. Trying his best to stay alive. Playing with that bomb. Waiting for his teammate to rotate. All 3 players now. Everybody here. And here comes the gunfight. Mythical's going to lose it. 302 now have the advantage. 1 versus 4. The bomb has been planted. And that's it. The pinch. The defuse is going to come in.
Oy Dios mio, Nico. That round, all 4 alive for 302 Blue. Just it didn't look like that was how things were gonna play. Mythical was doing such a great job, you know, breaking the ankles of defense right there, entertaining all of them over at Laundry. That bomb, once again, I feel like from these sides, especially Elemental Gaming, it needs to come down sooner, so their team can back up and they can start playing for playing on a defensive foot instead of continuing to have to play on that offensive for that bomb plant. And it left that bomb planter all alone, having to plant it all in 1 versus 4 in a bomb site that's so open. With all the players rotating over in close proximity, it just led to such a big cluster truck on that bomb site that that player just got absolutely just murdered on. And Dios is going to open things out with another first blood, I feel like, but getting traded out quickly in the process. Rio 2, one of their strengths right now in this S&D that's, again, like I'm mentioning, is planting that bomb ASAP. The priority on it.
Yeah, and I mean, it turns out it works out perfectly for them because right now, already less than 30 seconds to work with. Cello gonna get the first kill on, or his first kill on this map, but the trade is gonna be come in. Mythical sitting at a goose egg,
Big ol' goose egg.
unprecedented. Yeah, uncharacteristic compared to his first hardpoint match in the respawns. But right now, 2-2, looking pretty even as we'd expected with the way these two teams have been playing. Beautiful nade by Barblanca to fish him out. That was beautifully played. Getting the second kill over here at this middle map. And then he just rotates over. Beautifully played. You know, you got to start to think about what these offenses, you know, what's the main underlying differences between the way these two teams play their offenses. And as you said, 302, making it a priority to get that bomb down quickly. And right now, Elemental with the bomb in hand.
Yeah, you make a good point. It is like a lot of it has to do, in my opinion. Well, so far actually has been all about whichever team has the better offense, and the deciding factor between the two. It's not that one team can win an offense and one team can only win a defense. It's both teams right now are only winning defenses. There's a lot of lag in on the screen, folks. So my apologies on that, but the lag ain't affecting Flacco one bit, as he was able to beam one of the players there, and that's going to leave Elemental Gaming's Barbablanca, the man that's on a 4 streak, being able to do so much so far for his roster, for his team, in both the first map and now even 5th round in this Search and Destroy. Gonna have to pull out a 1 versus 3, a simp, so to speak, if he's to take this map for his side. And Flacco's going to be holding that angle, and he's going to be able to catch him off guard. Or not off guard, but going to be able to catch him. That AR on the heady, it's monstrous, the Krieg. Great work right there from him. Just great timing overall, right?
Yes, I mean 302 been playing this perfectly. The information, the callouts, their comms must be crystal clear. They don't seem to be panicking, and I think some of the biggest mistakes that have been going on Elemental are just simply losing these gunfights. Mythical still, you know, we're round 6 and he's on a goose egg. Nagasaki, you know, only with 1 kill, and it looks like it's going to be an A bomb push with 3 players heading over A and only 1 and about 1 other player down middle. Barblanca's gonna win his gunfight. That was nasty. 45 HP. He's gonna rotate over to A, try to catch somebody off. Maybe try to see if there's somebody planting, but there seems to be nobody there. But Grim, he's awfully close. He could, I think he saw him through the statue. I think Grim saw him through the statue. I think he knows exactly where this player is. Barblanca, yeah, he definitely saw him. That was very smart of Barblanca to move on.
Now he sees
But he didn't go with the rotate, and he won the gunfight.
Still alive, living at large. The man on a mission for his side, 7-4. He will stay up. He got the first blood in this round, gets the second kill as well, but all alone is going to be Brixies. And once again, Nico, the back and forth, the offense loses, the defense wins, and that's time and time over here. But Brixie gonna get that bomb planted in the 1 versus 6. There's a lot less room for him to be working with here, as it's only 1 bomb site here, and he's gonna potentially get cut off by Dios, and he will. So that will be the round there, as they get a simple defuse on that one. And Barbablanca, once again, working towards some sort of streak here, and at the top of his team's, kill department, and at the top of the food chain on the map as well, I believe, with the most kills on it.
I mean, yeah, I think Brixie playing that route that he took was not a bad option. You know, if he would have won that gunfight, he could have circled all the way back around through middle, played for a close gunfight, maybe taken somebody off the defuse, played the time. But unfortunately, that first kill that he got in that 1 versus 3 just did not go his way against the Krieg. And, you know, those are gunfights you got to win. You have to expect some players coming in any particular route that you choose. And honestly, I think it was a good call by him. He just simply didn't win the gunfight. All brain, no brawl in that on that positioning, but still, it's going to be 3 versus 3 right now. Mythical breaking that goose egg curse, but still, both players on the side of Elemental with 1 kills. Stacked up total of 9 separate deaths, but Barblanca with a 2 streak now, leading his team in kills right now at a 7 and 4. Teams now playing very patiently. There seems to be a 3-man push on A. Mythical playing very patiently, looking for a pick before he goes in for that bomb. Think they know that these players are over here on this money side, but Grim getting awfully close to spotting a player. He's gonna get one off top bedroom and he's gonna rotate around, push back, wait for something else to happen. Dios is gonna get Cello at back basketball court, and already 3 versus 2. Barblanca's gonna win his gunfight to make him give it a 3 streak. Him and Dios on a tear right now. Grim left all alone, chilling in kitchen. See if he can whip something up for dinner. He's gonna get nearly the first kill, and he's gonna catch him running away. A 1 versus 2. This is totally doable. He has 30 seconds left. He's gonna pick up that SMG, make those close gunfights more viable for him. He spots one near the bomb. Ooh, he's gonna get a little scared. Top bedroom. Great positioning by Elemental to secure that spot. They know exactly where he is. And just picking up that AR and throwing yourself all the way in the back for those long gunfights is exactly what you want to see from Elemental.
Yeah, and by all means, no negativity over to the side of 302 and large amounts of it. Copious amounts of salt or whatnot, as they've been playing this one very close and even footing. Elemental, though, getting the first offensive round in the books for a team, that could be a big decider here. So far, it's been defense that's been trumps in these rounds, and that nade's going to be able to get a big kill for Brixie onto Barbablanca. The Diablo on the side of Elemental Gaming is taken off the map, but a trade comes through and Flacco is going to drop as well. It's not good to lose your quarterback in that sort of situation here, as Flacco, quarterback for a football team in the NFL. Reference probably want to miss to Nico, but hopefully he got that one. And 302, they've got this one. They have an offensive round that they could potentially get now. Go tit for tat. Get an answering, your offense for our offense here for 302 Blue and keep the score line in Stevens. As we are going to see that player from Elemental push from the spawn side of the offense team, working around. Might get hurt with all this movement that he's making, and the mantling, he slides on in. Can he get a kill onto Brixie? I think ring around the rosy. Who will come out on top? Looks like Mythical will be able to get that. And will he check ball court now for Cello? Cello with an AR will be it's going to be important. Gets onto this one. Bomb is going to get hopped on.
The bomb. Yeah, wow, that was perfect timing for the side of 302. Making it a 4 versus 4. These teams are truly just, throwing the punches back and forth and back and forth. Unfortunately, the timing was just not there in favor of Elemental. The defuse, there was just no time. Either you had to get on the bomb or, you guys lost. But as unfortunate as that is, we're still sitting at a tie game with Elemental on the offensive. Nagali Osaki, 1-7, underwhelming, but still. Dios, Barbablanca, pulling the team together, playing as a man and a half to make up for the lackluster performance on Nagasaki.
Gotta give a big shout out to Mythical as well. He had that donut. He was that player in the lobby that held his donut for the longest amount of time, and well, he's got himself into something of a better position for himself. 3 and 5 right now. Could find himself the 4th. He stuns him at top pool stairs, but not gonna find the kill. The player decides to play the corner. He's gonna look to play back. That's gonna be Grim. Gonna hear that trophy system go down. Oh, and there we go. Mythical will drop. That's gonna be 3 and 6. Dios gets the quick trade. Will we see a trade back for Flacco? No, Dios beams him. Dios gonna be topping his team right now. 12 and 5. He's gonna drop to Brixie though. One of the strong players on the side of 302 Blue. Also the player leading his team so far. And he's gonna have to play this 1 versus 3 that he's gotten down to 1 versus 2. Very superbly here, as he has to get a defuse and get these ARs off these headies and get some sort of comfort in. Is going to be playing money here with it, just scanning around. I love the Orbeez on this Diamond AK-74 Uzi. Going to get spotted by one of the Elemental players, and well, Looks like he's going to be a mouse caught in a trap right now. But he's going to aim down sight to
Ooh.
try to kill that. Will he catch the player flanking behind him? He will not, and that's Elemental Gaming
Wow.
once again getting the front foot in the maps against their opponent's 302 Blue here, on the threshold of potentially taking this map and going 2-0 up in the series is Elemental Gaming. Nico, 302 Esports, they got to really dig deep here in these next 2 rounds to get the map win and tie up this series.
Yeah, I mean, I think even regardless with the amount of teamwork 302 have been putting into these pushes, these offenses and these defenses, just the overall slaying power for Dios and Barba Blanca, you know, it's overwhelming, you know, compare you see Nagali Osaki, and as I'm speaking, Dios is going to get the first blood already in favor, 4 versus 3, a man up advantage for the side of Elemental, looking to close this map out and put them up 2-0 in this map series. But still, as we've seen before, these teams have been going neck and neck and neck. We could very well see around 11, but as you said, those first bloods are very crucial in winning these rounds. And right now, things seem to have slowed down a bit. The bomb has been down. Cello spotting one player. He's going to spot the second, but he's going to get taken down. It's a 2 versus 4 now. Flacco and Grim all alone. Grim's going to get taken down. A 1 versus 4. Flacco all alone. Going to get 1 kill, but it's looking very, very tough. Definitely doable, though. We've certainly seen this for the ace. He weaves and bobs, but the pinch is just too strong. Pop like a pimple. 6-4 Elemental are going to take map 2.
Sure, you know, you might be able to dodge a wrench, you might be able to dodge a ball, but those bullets, you got to make sure you dodge them a lot better. You know, not everybody's like, not everybody's like that one guy in the Matrix, you know, that can dodge them all super well. And right there, man, Dios, you know, man of the map, you know, had such a fantastic scoreline, KD, whatever you want to call that. And he used the same spot twice to get first blood. That little sliver of a gap between, you know, from top laundry on defense. And it ends up being one of the big difference makers, you know, like I said at the beginning of it all, first blood, in getting their team across that line, and especially in the last round there, and helping get that team's momentum just to steamroll over and put really 302 over the edge there. And nobody punished it. You know, we all saw it in the kill cam. The other team saw it in the kill cam the round before when they had offense, 2 rounds before. They need to be better prepared for that moment, and should have had somebody on the shots, the return fire, you know, or just not peeking that angle. You know, it's adaptation, you know, in Search and Destroy. I feel like, you know, that's one of the big differences between amateur teams and, you know, powerhouse strong top challengers teams, even the pros, is just being able to adapt and get better at reading and and also being harder to read as the Search and Destroy progresses. In 302, they did a great job winning their defenses, but in the end, you know, it just came down to that, in my opinion. Nico, any other potential opinions, you know, takes on what sort of like was the shining graces for Elemental in that one, or maybe even the falling darknesses for 302? Yeah, definitely, and for competition to arise and for something to come, for us to come back into the action, you know, and actually see something in this series extended. Of course, we have to look at the maps to see, you know, what maps need to be won here to have this one extended. And you know, you got the Hardpoint and S&D in the books, both going the way of Elemental Gaming. Checkmate in Moscow, they are you know, Checkmate needs to be won by 302. Moscow then needs to be won, and then Miami needs to be won. Like, you need to do a full reverse sweep, Nico. And this 302 side, they're not very well versed with 302 sweeps, or not 302 sweeps, but reverse sweeps. In my opinion, you know, I've it's tough. You know, like both of these teams are at the bottom of the barrel, and most of the time when they get swept through, you know, the first two maps, they end up just falling very easily in a 3-0 fashion. In that control, haven't really both of them haven't really given uh, too much difference, not difference, too much bite back in controls when they find themselves down 2-0 in the series historically, within the last 2 weeks. But you know, so far everything has been very, very even Stevens, except for, you know, the one or two like little like round differentials you'll find, or differences you'll find, where Elemental Gaming will just be ahead. You know, in that hard point, it was by 50, less than 50 points. You know, they were just ahead by less than 50. You know, in that Search and Destroy, they ended up winning by just 2 rounds. You know, and the margins are slim, but still a lot of chances for more Call of Duty to be had in this series, as we will be setting up the stage for a control on Checkmate. And Nico, I had a bit of an audio issue with you before. It's been resolved since my little rant here. My apologies on you on
No.
being able to be heard not so well the stream. But what are your thoughts on Control Checkmate?
Control checkmate, man. I mean, it's a map we definitely saw a lot of Super Weekend when in the majors. You know, like I said, my biggest points of contention were certainly the control over the underbelly of the plane, uh, putting those SMGs in crucial points and the top plane. You know, snakes on a plane, man. I think it's very important that these teams are able to read the back spawns where their ARs are set up. The spawn traps can be absolutely nasty. You know, cutting down the respawns and the pushes for you know, A caps, certain takes on B. I think very crucial. You cannot get caught in a spawn trap, because, you know, off the rip, 4 go down and you're all left in the back, and you know, one team's already a 1-1-1 man advantage all across the entire point, and you know, they got eyes everywhere. Comms are flowing. One gets put down, but just the rest come and swarm. It could just be massacred. So you know, it's going to be an interesting one. Elemental already up 2-0. They have a hot start. We saw them in the respawns, and as we've seen before, these two teams are playing at a very similar caliber from each other. So it's going to be interesting, especially from that S&D. It was not a convincing one. It was a pretty close one. So I think this control can go either way. We could see a map 4. We could see a game 5. You know, either way, um, my eggs aren't all in one basket. So it's going to be interesting.
I think it's going to come down to just whoever can come away with an offensive run first. That's just my opinion on it. I feel like, just like from the Search and Destroy, you're looking at defense as being something that should be easier for both these teams. And like in Control historically, it's all about the defensive side really having the favor. And right now you're seeing some really back and forth trades just start off the get go to grab that superiority in top lane. And like we've seen time and time again, when it comes to Control on this map, lane control is key, and Brixie will be able to show us that by getting himself a nice steamy 2-piece, some fresh off the fryer Popeye's 2-piece chicken coming right to Brixie, and he's going to be able to enjoy that and lick his fingers. As now the spawns come in from Elemental Gaming, they're going to get an opportunity to push on through, but once again, Brixie is going to put a dagger into one player's heart before getting taken out by Mythical Nico.
Already, man, he's 4 up. He's 4 up now, and only with 1 kill down. And you know, Barba Blanca trying his best to make his first take. He's gonna get the player off a long. He's gonna get the second.
Oh,
Be able to secure at least 1 take for his team. Unbelievable that the drop shot, the stand up and fire, all lead bullets into the face. And right now, Elemental stacking as many players as they can, playing in and around the control point. They look like they're going to get the third tick, and already a minute and 43 seconds up after this tick, they're already swarming B. Mythical is going to get taken down. 2 go in favor of 302. And right now, the objective plays have just been excellent. But 302 with a solid defense now. That players are spread out pretty evenly on the side of Elemental, trying their best to converge onto this 1 point and put as much pressure as they possibly can to take control over this. But already, just a similar life advantage for both teams. And nobody seems to be outslaying one or another. It seems to be fairly even. But that quick plan, that quick capture is going to be crucial. Barblanca, the man we saw playing extremely well for his team. As I say that, the caster's curse, he's going to get taken down. But 302, they've got work to do.
You could say that again. But the lives being so close to each other, to me, it's only going to favor the offense and giving them more opportunities to still be in this game and in this round. As Elemental Gaming, they, Barba, Blanca off to a good start, 5-5, but Brixie, like you had mentioned just previously, he's off to an even faster and a hotter start, going 8-5. The slaying power between these two, this is going to be the decision maker in Mythical, stepping up actually when needed most, to even close out the series in a 3-0 fashion. After having a lackluster performance in the hard point, stepping things up here, but oh my, Brixie nearly had a 2-piece in his face there, maybe even 3 he could have gotten. The prayers would have needed to come through, and the priest would have had to ordain it, but unfortunately not going to happen. And Dios, he's going to get a big kill right there. Can he get the second to snap on the heady? Oh my gosh, don't even beam back. Shoot back, Brixie, but you can't do that when you're dead. As 302 Blue, they're on defense right now, but they're struggling up against Elemental. The life advantage is in Elemental's favor. We did see some utter collapses in control during the major weekend and major week, for Toronto, Optic Gaming, just to name 2. And things are coming down to the wire. 4-4 in lives. Nico, give us that last play-by-play here.
Already 7 seconds left. The second tick is yet to come in, man. There's 1 life left. Flacco, the last one against a whole squad of teams, and he's going to get taken down. The SMGs are there. The conversion has been made. Elemental Gaming 1-0, looking to secure a very convincing sweep over 302 Blue. And as we've seen, these games have not been close, but in the end, Elemental have just been the team to come out on top. And this control, the way they're playing, it was not a close one, but Elemental just seemed to consistently be coming out on top. And 302 is certainly not out of it yet. We've seen unprecedented reverse sweeps and across professional leagues, AMs, challengers, and certainly can happen here, with these teams playing it's the same caliber. And the meta right now seems to be a half SMG Krieg AR presence. So they're playing at the same pace, throwing their SMGs up top lane. Brixie's going to get the first blood over, nearly going to get the second, but he's going to get pushed out. The trophies are down over at A. Brixie's going to win the second one for the capture already, looking to secure the first tick, and his buddy Flacco is going to be right there. The stuns are coming out, trying to fish out any information on players, nades, just to keep them just far back. And the second tick already coming in, but here comes the push. The defense isn't there. The stronghold just wasn't enough. Oh my goodness, the second tick just was not enough. Unfortunate as that is. Blanco 10-9, sitting comfortably.
Brixie is gonna get onto the point here as well. I love that. I love that he's also spending time, being an OBJ as well for his team. But it could come back to bite them. He is the Diabolo right now for his side, taking down so many lives on the side of Elemental Gaming. And with a lot of those players getting taken off the map, it gives all of his other teammates opportunities to, push out and get new real estate to work with. And with him having to sit on a hill dormant, it's not going to be the most, in my opinion, it's not going to be the most effective move in decisions, in call-outs. And right now, we are going to see 302 Blue able to confirm the tick over to A, give him another minute to work with, and it's just going to be under 2. Just actually 1 minute and 45 seconds left to work with for 302 Blue. In this offensive round, they could strike back, offense to offense. You know, I said offensive round win could be the difference maker here, and well, if both these teams get an offensive round on the board, it just might be the reverse. It might come down to just defenses. Usually, you'd say, from what I've heard, Raid is the map, you know, in Control that has a higher percentage chance for offense to win it. As Nagali Osaki, where was he shooting there, man? You got to look for some tips on getting that accuracy up there. Maybe shoot a few more bots there, because damn, that tracking was horrendous.
That was, yeah, and a league like this, I mean, no disrespect to the man, but I mean, the way we saw him perform in the S&D, you know, there's definitely a lot of slack that needs to be picked up by players like, you know, Barba Blanca, Dios. Like, these are the players that you're going to need to really step up for lackluster performance. But now 302 with just a 1 life advantage, hardly anything to play with, but still a minute and 1 tick left on B. These players are starting to converge. Flacco is only going to get 1 bullet off before he drops. The trades are coming in. Grim going to play ring around the rosy with his 1 player, but his teammate's going to be there to save him. Pick one player off, the trophy's down. 2nd tick already in progress. Brixie double stacking it on. It looks like it's going to come through. 39 seconds left. Similar life advantage. 302 looking to secure this one, but Barba Blanca going to come from the behind with the back shots. Yes, the recurring back shots call. Brixie maneuvering, weaving, shaky shots, but the wall bending was due.
Oh no, the team shot! No!
Team kill. He worked so hard for that. All for what? He gets shot in the back of the head. How unfortunate was that? With the amount of lives remaining on both sides, it's not what you want to see happen.
Oh, but 302 Blue, they've gotten themselves on a live lead right now. With this split up from Elemental Gaming, this could be very disruptive. But instead, it's going to be a 1 versus 3, and 302, they don't even need to take them off the board. They just got that time. They got that hill. And they get that round. Offense. Offense being the difference, Chase. Really? That's your call? That's your call at the beginning of it? Nah, my dude. It's going to be a defense bloodbath here. As whichever team gets a defensive round on the board will probably get this one. This is so interesting. You know, if I was to make a prediction at which, you know, side, offense or defense, is going to be more, you know, crucial and both these teams would win their first rounds off of, 9 out of 10, I would have always said defense. These teams were just going to win defense. The Search and Destroy was pretty much all defenses. But, you know, perfection is really hard to come by. And my prediction, it's definitely miles away from perfection here. And Nico, this game, you know, I think being away from perfection from both these teams has made it even more of an interesting series. In my opinion, as Mythical says good evening, good night, adios, buenas noches to 2 players on the map there, sends them back to spawn, and they're going to have to come back up, and now people are going to have to deal with him as he's in the back of 302 Blue's spawn. He gets finally taken out there.
That was such an interesting play call. The fact that he chose to rotate and get a 2-kill flank instead of just sitting on the hill. You know, it took a while. He would have certainly been able to get at least 1, maybe 2 ticks with, you know, that 1 player on it. But he just chose to go all the way around and sit back spawn with no player accumulating any sort of progress onto those ticks. And I mean, you really got to start to think what kind of play call that was, because, you know, you would have been guaranteed at least 2 ticks with that flank if you just rotated back and sat on the A point. But right now, you know, 302 just completely regained. Their offense fell apart. The team Elemental, they're all spawning on this backside A, trying to make something happen. Very interesting. You know, it's a nice clean 2-piece, but for what? You know, like you're down a few lives. They have a 5 live advantage, and the trades are coming in. But still, you know, all for what? For an objective that couldn't have been played. But Blanca looking to make a change to that momentum, change to that play call, trying to make something happen. But Brixie just going to be the overwhelming slaying power. Mythical there for the trade, as we saw him with the goose egg in the S&D, trying to make it known that he is still a viable player for this team. He's not going to get spotted by Grim, and he's going to just get ripped off of his shoulder. I was not expecting him to see that. Blanca playing at the level that we had expected him to, and right now they're trying to secure this B first tick. Make something happen. More pressure needs to come out of the side of Elemental if they want to close this out.
This split cap decision right now, I love it. It's going to give time to be paused It's going to give them the opportunity to also get a two minutes on the clock. And look at that, 2 ticks of progress at B. Oh my lord, these offensive rounds, so surprising. Mythical gonna be making his name heard by the viewers here, because he's earned it off of this objective play. This split off right there was so important in helping grab this extra time, and he might even get another kill too. He gets rewarded with some bullets to the skulls of his opponents here on screen for y'all to enjoy. And he's going to get called out at the back here. He's going to be in a fight with Grim, but Grim will be able to take him down. Flacco gets a long-range kill with that Krieg. And, man, the life lead, it's in 302's favor. This is the problem. You know, Elemental Gaming, they've worked so hard. They've gotten this one to be a lot closer than it really looked like it was ever going to become. As it's 4-9. We've seen collapses, like I've said before, in the CDL worse than this. So...
Oh, yeah.
We could see one here. As
yeah, I mean, oh boy.
1 versus 9.
Spoke way too soon. The caster's curse. I mentioned NYSL and just not what was expected to happen, you know, with that 5 life deficit. NYSL able to take it, but notably also NYSL choking. You know, the reverse sweep, Dallas choking hard, exactly what Elemental just had in mind. I mean, it could have went either 2 ways. They could have pulled off, you know, NYSL pre-major or post-major, and it was definitely pre-major with that choke. You know, every single
thankfully, 302 Blue, they won't choke their defensive round there, and that's going to get them on the board for 2. So now, the ball is in their court. You know, this is their map to lose. They're up by 2. Confirm this. Get another successful offensive round to go your way, and put Elemental Gaming to rest in this map and extend it to a 4th. So we could see that Moscow hardpoint. As Barba Blanca is going to get cut down right now, as I'm saying that 302 needs to find some success here right off the bat. And to get this going quickly, they are going to be able to find a bunch of kills successfully. Nobody on their team down yet and dead. It's going to be 30-26 right now, but oh my gosh, Facco, he nearly got Barba Blanco. That could have been very crazy. What a fiesta that would have been right there for 302 Blue. And well, we will see Cello get a big kill and keep this hill blue for the time being. Another tick of progress gets made. Number 3 gonna potentially go to aggress to the point, but gonna play for top lane. The hesitation right here looks like he's just gonna grab that gun. Look to have both weapons at once here for the next plays. He's gonna find one. He will not find Flacco. Flacco will be there to watch the back. The 6 was covered. Bravo 6 did not go dark in that moment. As Brixie, he's gonna be still atop of the whole lobby. 30 bomb right now, folks, for Brixie. 302 Blue, he did not see the player to the right of him. What? I swear he was there. Nagaleo Saki also needing to step up, one of the players here, along with obviously Cello, who's not doing too well. You know, not a lot of deaths, but also not a lot of kills. His involvement has been a bit lackluster so far for his side, even sporting a low amount of objective kills. But no worries, 302 Blue looking good. Already 1 tick of progress at B, a full cap at A. 1 minute and 16 to work with. The time is stopped as well for these ticks of progress as they're going through. Dio's gonna try to wallbang 1. Barba Blanca comes from the top rope, says bye-bye to Flacco, takes out Grim, and oh my lord, I just love those plays. Jumping off of the wing of the plane and coming down and grabbing 2 unexpectedly. Those are some of my favorite things to watch, and Shotzi makes it look so clean and so pretty for the Dallas Empire and Eco. And right now, Brixie going to be emulating that alongside Barba Blanca. And Battle of the Subs, I would still say, is what this matchup's looking like it is.
Certainly, and as we see these more and more players hitting these 30 bombs, you know, the gun skill, the guns are heating up, the fingers are lighting up, the thumbs are shooting straighter. Brixie 32 and 28, as I say that, he gets taken down, but it looks like the next bar of progress is going to come through. 302, they're going to take the control, up 3-1 to send it to a map 4 hardpoint on Moscow. And as we've seen these 2 teams played at such similar capacities, it's going to be hard to really, you know, it's a coin flip.
What an ending. What an absolute ending there. 302 with the prayer comes through. The reverse sweep, it's still potentially on the cards here. We've seen one map go their way in this potential reverse sweep situation that we have. And, 302, they're in the game. We have a series on our hands. We're seeing an extension to that map 4. We're going to see a hard point on Moscow, Nico, and that's one of those. It's also one of those maps, for hardpoint that, for instance, FaZe has been absolutely just wiping all the teams on. Moscow is their best map by far for S&D and hardpoint, undefeated across all matchups they've had on it. Now, looking back at these two teams, and their journey here, Nico, what are the maps that they've had to? What are the maps they had to conquer in this series so far?
Oh man, I feel like one for 302, a very prominent one is gonna have to be it's gonna have to be that raid S&D if we happen to get to it. If we get to a game
Miami S&D. What maps?
Miami, pardon.
What maps have we already gone past? Remind the people that are tuning in a bit late.
Yes. I believe the first one was Crossroads Hardpoint. It was a very close one. The hill control. There was a lot of lead changes. There was Elemental led. I would say they led more, but the breaks, the offenses, the defenses were relatively the same throughout both teams. The slaying power was pretty spread out evenly, but the S&D was again back and forth, and Elemental, like I said, just came out on top. These two teams played at the same levels, the same capacity as their potential could lead them to, and in the end, it just Elemental coming out on top. And the control, as we saw, 302 playing more aggressively, playing more with their ability to throw their SMGs to those top planes, stop the spawn kills and get on the point. They got flanked a lot. Barba Blanca was in the flanks, jumping off that plane wings, and getting the 2 pieces, the 3-piece combos with the fries and a large sprite. It was the slaying power was all Elemental, but as we've known time and time again, slaying power means nothing if OBJ is not being played. So, in a map like Hardpoint, it's still a coin flip for me. As we saw in the first one, Elemental trailed, but and this recipe for a reverse sweep, this is the first ingredient in a comeback casserole, as I like to call it. So it's going to be an interesting one to see.
For sure, the Puerto Rican powerhouse team, the Elemental Gaming roster, they were able to get themselves through the first 2 maps, unscathed with a 2-0 series so far. But then, coming off that control, it zaps. This is going to zap a lot of momentum that the Elemental side had. And, it's going to be interesting to see how now they bounce back after a loss. Because we've seen 302 bounce back, not just after 1 loss, but 2 successive losses. Now, Elemental, how do you guys play this one? Does that how impactful was that loss in the control to you guys in your momentum and your mentalities and your mentals, your columns, everything? As we're going to be jumping straight into this one, the teams are staying on the sides they were in the previous maps, folks. You'll see up in the best of 5 that it is a 2-1 scoreline. Elemental Gaming is up in this one, can close out the series on this map 4.
Oh,
but
my
damn,
goodness.
hot damn,
Oh my.
Elemental Gaming. I was wondering if they were going to be phased at all by that control loss, and oh my lord,
No.
they're not. They have spawns. Nagali Osaki turning up big time. We were talking down a bit about him in that control, but he's coming to life here in this one. It's looking like he's about to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud at his kills that he got right there. That 3 kill streak, so good. Their team up 30 points to 0. Capture that scoreline on a screenshot. What a great opening start for Elemental Gaming in this one in the bounce back, Nico.
Yeah, Nagali Osaki, sitting at a very, very terrible KD in the last 3 maps, and he's still on a 5-streak tear, turning up at the time that he has needed the absolute most. Krieg in hand. Man, the caster's curse, he's going to get ripped off that top window, but at 302 there with the break, they had to really make up for that lackluster performance in the openings of the of that break, just all 4 players drop down and like the kills come in for the side of Elemental, the streaks, they're boy, what is the series? I don't know what happened to Nagali Osaki, what was told, what comms were being said to him, but whatever happened, it's working, and they need to keep it up. As now we see Elemental starting to rotate for this new hard point, focusing on the newest defense that they have to come up with. A solid hold needs to come through if they want to be able to regain this control over the point system. And right now, 302, giving up the scrap time, trying to make a way over now. 6-2, Nagali Osaki. Wow, the player is now brought a much new set of expectations for me in this hard point.
And this one, it's all up to Mythical to stay up for the team, and he will drop here. So we will see this side of 302 Blue get over there, retake the hill, break through the defense, and they brought back the scoreline a lot here. It was very one-sided, in the openings, especially off of some really strong play from Nagali Osaki. Barba Blanca heating up in the background, Mythical, Dios having a slower start than what was expected, especially with 0 time on the board as well. You'd expect that if he wasn't looking too good in the KD, that he'd make up for that on the hill time. But no, not too good for him so far. But still, a lot more left on this map. It's just the early comings of this hard point, and well, we're just hitting that hill number 4 now on that first rotation. And Elemental Gaming, they're hitting this hill hard again. This is reminding me, I'm getting some flashbacks of that first hill here. So much control going their way. Mythical gonna open things out with one big kill there. Can he catch Brixie? Brixie's shots are shaky as well, but oh my gosh, the pink in the kill feed. So much pink. It's neon as well. It's making me feel like I'm in Vegas over here, but we're gonna have to wait to enjoy that neon. If we do go to that map 5, if 302 Blue can claw us there, we'll see that neon in the sky, on the buildings in Miami. But right now, the thoughts of Miami aren't on any of these teams' heads right now, especially 302 Blue, as they're down bad right now. The 5 streak accrued by 2 members on Elemental Gaming. We got Barba Blanca with a 5. We see in the back coming away from that point, but back spawns is going to be Dios on a 5. He's going to head towards Checkers with both guns in hand. So that could help him grab some picks here to get closer to the streaks. But on the flank is Barba Blanca doing so much damage potentially. He's going to get one. He's going to get Brixie as well with his back turned.
The streaks.
The streak in his hand here. Artillery on the cusp. No, not even on the cusp. He's accrued that one. The cusp is going to be the cruise missile. But also on the cusp is Dios to getting himself a streak to work with. Except he doesn't have streaks equipped. You can't do that. You're streaking. You're streaking.
That is so unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. He's got 7 on him. Dios and Barba Blanca, these are the 2 players that we were totally looking out for as the duo to really hold the weight of Nagali Osaki. But Nagali Osaki stepping up in this last match, looking to close it out, making his name known that he is not just the person they need to carry, but he is a viable member of this team. Making it known that right now, desperately trying to, it's all pink. It's all pink. 80 points up now. 302 Blue are in some deep shit. Pardon my language, but geez, this is a smack and a half in this last map, this seemingly last map. Right now Elemental are just too electric right now. It's very hard to see any sort of gas being turned up by 302, especially with a player like Nagali Osaki struggling a lot in the S&D, the first hard point, as well as in the control, but finally being able to find his footing into this last map. Seemingly, I mean, I think we all know I'm a little biased. Nagali Osaki missing a few of his bullets, going to get his opposing one shot. But still, his teammate's going to help him. 172 to 97. The 200-point club might come in before 302 are able to hit 100. And right now, Dios is going to be on the point. The man to look out for nearly gets Brixie off of that hard point. Heady. Ay.
This 20 seconds of scrap is really big for 302 Blue. And man, if you're a fan of Elemental Gaming, you got to be happy. This is the second moment in life that you love seeing pink, so much pink. And well, 302 Blue, they're doing a great job and trying to still stay with it. I can definitely feel like they're not fully out of it, as they have fight, they're still moving, they haven't left the match, as what we've seen in the past with teams where they've sort of forfeited without completing the series. And gotta give them a lot of props here, but Barba Blanca, instead of high fives, he just sends some shots into the faces of those 302 players. They're just like, I want a hug. I'm having a rough time. Come on, Barba. But instead, he just takes them out time and time again. Oh my gosh, if he would have snapped onto Grim like that, I would have lost it. Maybe even chucked my keyboard across the room and said, goal. As 302 Blue, they're having so much trouble here trying to find footing. This series is looking like it's over on map 4 here. We're seeing the first hard point was so close, you know, it was not crazy close in the end, but it was so close throughout the middle, the beginning of it. But this one's just been a complete walk and a wash for Elemental Gaming here. But you know, if you want to start a comeback on a map, you know, in this hard point or whatnot, you got to start it on a hill, and why not start it on this one? As 302 Blue, they need to stop Elemental Gaming from grabbing really any more time here. And they do have good spawns. They have good attention to the hill. Now, whether or not they're able to keep Elemental Gaming at bay here, as there we go. We're going to find 1 or 2 kills coming the way of Elemental. The kill feed's starting to get more pink and problematic for 302 Blue, as the point is going to be hopped on by Elemental Gaming, and they can win off the remaining time here. Yeah. They're going to get aggressive. Oh my gosh, Dios! Dios! We witnessed witnessed a murder in UFC on the weekend, and now just you bring out the fist and the butt of your gun. The streaks come to the explosive finish here. Elemental Gaming come away with the map win. They come away with the series win, and they send 302 Esports to the Nether Realms in the group. They will be the team at the bottom with the worst score and with no win on the board whatsoever. The light has to be seen soon by this team, or else their playoff chances might be going away sooner than they might have anticipated.
Coming away is just a team that's not even, I don't even know the opposite word for undefeated, but unwinning. I don't know. Just able to find no success, you know, only winning 1 map count. In that control 302, you know, they only able to come away with this on the control victory. And you know, they're probably gonna find plenty of takeaways for what happened in this last round. Certainly not good for team morale. But Elemental is showing and proving that their hard point can be effective. You know, I feel like if we were to see more from Nagali Osaki in the first hard point, it certainly would have been a much stronger showing. You know, that one player, Nagali Osaki, again, slow start, but he turned up when his team needed him. So, yikes.
And we were just one more map away from getting that Miami that me and you both loved watching over the CDL major that just concluded recently. And well, sometimes this is how it happens, guys. You know, one of these 2 teams had to come out on top here, and it ends up being Elemental Gaming who comes away with the win. Coming into this one, too, they had a slight lead in terms of, you know, if you were to look at odds, you look at paper stats, they were at 14% win rate, while the side of 302 Blue Esports had a whopping 0, unable to take away a single map in any of the series they've had thus far. And here, they're finally able to get a map on the board for themselves, which is great. That's a small victory you got to look at, and with a roster like this that's still working, still finding their way into things here in the league, finding themselves just as a unit, you got to take these minor victories. And that's the victory that you look at today. Even though, you know, you didn't win the war, you did win a small battle, and those ones will end up counting down the line potentially here, especially if you look at, you know, any ties that come down to you have to look at. A lot of the times the ties end up getting decided, you know, based off of things like map win-loss percentage. And having that map win could maybe help you guys down the line. Who knows? It just all depends on how this team kind of bounces back from these losses and maybe the second half of the league. Well, they still do have a few more matches left for this league. You know, I'm looking at who they've played so far, and their 3 matches they've had so far were against ADS, Hi-Fi, and Redux. 3 of the teams near that top 4 right now. So they do still have an opportunity to put themselves out there and get themselves on the board. You know, sure, they lose against an opponent like Elemental Gaming that was with them in that bottom 4 spot in their group, but you know, now you have a team flawless that's also closer to that bottom spot that you have to try to get a win off of, and if you can't get that win, you're going to be in dire straits going into that second half of the season where you have to play all these teams all over again, with the rematches and such before playoffs, and you they gotta continue to work, and continue to grow Nico. And I love to see in chat. I'm not sure if you noticed, Nico, but it sounds like you're hearing, ADS's aim has actually been giving a few pointers to some of their
Yeah.
players, and that's one of the things I love to see. The community isn't just the fans of all these teams interacting with each other here on stream, but also behind the scenes, you're seeing teams scrimming each other from different groups, kind of helping each other out, helping each other kind of get better. Some of the Goliaths are helping the Davids. It's great. I love to see it. And today, two Davids came out and battled, and one of them came out on top, Nico.
Oh yeah. I mean, the players in this team I've really starting to become more familiar with, and Barba Blanca being one of my top favorites now, considering the way he performed. And let's be honest, his name is just really fun to say.
Oh, for sure.
Like Bar Barba Blanca. Like, let's be real. Like,
I like
if you're
Dios.
watching
I like
this,
Dios because then I
Dios
can
is
roll it
good.
into Dios mio, and it's
Adios mio.
or
Yeah, Barba
adios.
Blanco. Please hit me in the DMs, man. I will buy you lunch.
or
I
or
like your
play a few
name.
games, for sure. League play, drop it. Well, one last thing before, a last little hit onto Elemental. Massive fans of them. For them being that they're like last year we had a Puerto Rican team, I believe, came out, or a Spanish team nonetheless, and they were authentic. They put up a big fight. They made it within the top four. I think maybe even third place in the league in the end in the playoffs. Now this is that team that's going to have to hold up the legacy of being that lone Puerto Rican team, I think, or Spanish representing team. So hopefully these guys can turn things around. And if I'm wrong, and there's another team out there that's also with Hispanic descent or background, or place of origin, location that they play out, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then obviously, sure, correct me, and I can cheer for them equally, and put them in that same kind of category with the Authentities. But this has been me and Nico here. We've had a great fun time with you guys tonight. Nico, any thoughts on what matchups you have, what matchups we have going on into the week? Which ones you might be able to be a part of the stream for, that you can maybe give some of these people a little heads up for?
I believe this upcoming Thursday. I'm not quite sure which matchup's going to be on this Thursday. Uh, I actually forgot. I will be available Thursday. I will be here on stream Thursday. So that'll be an interesting matchup. I imagine it's on the tip of my tongue. I remember looking at the schedule, but I don't quite remember. But
I'll
I know for
grab it for
sure.
you just in a moment here. Let me I'll get it from me and Ray. We're talking about the schedules here. Thursday, KGK versus Divine Future. Uh
Divine Future.
so that's the matchup that we have for Thursday. That one could change. I've heard a few teams like kind of talking about that spot and whether or not they might switch it with KGK. We will see. Time will tell. But for now, that's what we have on the cards for the matchup. So, Nico, it's been fun. We'll probably see you on the Thursday. If not, we see you on another day, and it'll be another blast. We have great action to come this weekend. I would say the highlight matches for this week, actually. I'll throw out a few here. We got Divided We Fall versus Redux Esports. Divided We Fall breaking into that top four spot with their performance from last week, or not with their performance from last week, I think. But just overall looking very strong and looking like they could break into that top four. And so 1-1 record. Redux, I believe, also on a 1-1, or maybe even 2-0, 2-1, something like that, of that nature. They're both really strong teams. And then another highlight, probably the biggest matchup of the entire week: ADS Gaming versus Team Natural. Two undefeated rosters up against each other, and that one should definitely be a big treat
Oh
for
yeah.
all watching it. And Nico, it's been a blast once again. Me and you are gonna go over and do some Oculus Performance scrim exhibition streaming casting, what you want to call it. So if you guys want to check that out, follow our Twitters here. We'll make sure to retweet something that posts about that, and you guys can tune out to that stream and go to the link there. If not, and you guys are tuning out from ALG, well, we say goodbye and we thank you for tuning on in.
Peace.